name's Jo. Today I've got a completely different setup. If you've been following my channel for a while now, you would notice that this is completely unlike any kind of setup that I've had before. It is very green. And if you follow me on social media, you would have already seen some of my behind the scenes getting this place together. It's a lot greener than it will usually be. And that's because today I am introducing you to my plant family. These are my babies. And I'm going to be talking you through how I look after them. First of all, I am not a plant guru. This is just something that I've enjoyed doing recently. In the past year, actually. I'm gonna go through the plants in order of when I got them. Some of them have names, some of them don't. I mean, they all have like Latin names or whatever. Names that I've given them is what I mean. Some of them I've named, some of them I haven't. And I'm just gonna tell you like whatever anecdotes I have about these plants. And I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you stick around and subscribe and comment and engage. Anyway, let's get into it. So I'm gonna introduce you guys to my firstborn Pekin. This baby was gifted to me by one of my best friends and she set this whole thing off basically. This is all her fault. I moved house last summer and this was a housewarming gift from her. It's a peace lily. I don't remember the Latin name. I don't even know if they're Latin. I don't know the scientific name, that's what we'll say. But it was this plant that made me think I stood any chance of looking after any more plants. Her name is Lilybet, yes, after the queen. She's a dramatic baby girl. She loves being watered quite often. I've given her a clean before. I should have given her a clean a lot more often. But very easygoing, but dramatic, if that makes sense. I remember when I went on holiday last year, I forgot to water her just before leaving and we went away for a week. And by the time I came back, all her leaves were on the floor and I was like, oh my god, the horror. But yeah, just give her a bit of water and then bloom. In 24 hours, she is back to normal. So this is baby girl number 1, Lilybet, my peace lily. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Toyi, who is my alocasia. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I pronounce it. She's an alocasia, or also known as an elephant ear. This plant, unfortunately, is one of my least favorites. I bought this plant because I just thought, oh, let me buy something else. You know, I've been keeping Lilybet alive and I got really excited and I thought I'd get something with a bit of colour. But she doesn't really do much. I don't know, man. I don't know. And I've seen like older, more mature versions of this plant and they still don't really fill me with that much glee and excitement. So I'm just keeping for keeping's sake because I'm not at the stage where I want to throw any plants away. But yeah, unfortunately, Toyi is not a favourite. But she's part of the family. We've all got one of those. Okay? Now on the same day that I bought Toyi, I bought Temisan. And she's my first Monstera plant. I think every plant collector, or even if you're not a collector, everyone generally, if you've got a plant, it's probably a Monstera. There's so many of them. If you go into supermarkets, plant stores, hardware stores, if they're ever selling a plant, it's a Monstera because they're so easy to look after. They grow really quickly, and what I really like about them is their leaves split, and I think that's really cool. Mine is still getting there. You can see that there's a little bit hanging off the edge there. I could pull it apart, but I wouldn't do that to her. Temisan is a gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Gorgeous and flamboyant and all that jazz. I really like this plant. Again, none of my plants are particularly difficult to look after. I've intentionally gone for plants that are low maintenance. I'm very new to looking after plants and I think once I'm a year in, I think I'll have a good idea of what each plant requires in depth. I have made some mistakes along the way, but none of them are dead yet, so I must be doing something right. I have 2 Monstera plants. One was gifted, which I'll show you a bit later on, but this was my firstborn that I bought for myself, called Temisan. Next, I have this really, really cute little succulent. I got this succulent in a set of 3 from M&S. I forgot to say where I got all these plants from. So Temisan and Toyi were both from Lidl. And Lilybet that I got as a gift is from M&S. And so because I'd seen how well she turned out on the quality, I went on the M&S website and I got this like bundle. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll put the name on the screen. And it's basically like a beginner's bundle to plants. This was a succulent that came with it. Unfortunately, this succulent has no name. I don't know why. It's probably one of my most boring plants. I don't know if she's coming or going, if she's growing. I did notice that the edges started to get a bit red because I had her in direct sunlight for too long. I had her right on the windowsill and I don't think that was really good. So I've moved her away and I keep her on a shelf, but still in a bathroom, but out of direct sunlight. Another plant that came in the M&S bundle is this aloe vera plant. Unfortunately, I think this is my plant that's faring the worst. This plant is called Emmanuel, and I named it Emmanuel because I felt like it was just always going to be there. Always like a very unproblematic plant. However, I think I overestimated the fact that just because unproblematic doesn't mean it doesn't need TLC. So as you can see, I actually had it in my bathroom, but one of its shoots, oh, I don't know what they are. Basically, one of the aloe vera bits got stuck behind something and then it has gradually lost nutrients and this bit's dying off. So I'm actually just gonna cut it off on camera. So you can see this bit is unfortunately dead and crispy. So I'm just gonna get right underneath it and cut it off. Ooh, sap! Beautiful. And that bit as well is dangling. That bit's been dangling for some time and I've kind of just left it because I thought it would be okay, but I don't think it's doing so well. So I'm gonna cut that bit off as well when I sit down because it's kind of in a tricky position. As I was saying, this is Emmanuel, God with us, always with us. This plant is so unproblematic, so easygoing. Probably should give it a bit more TLC than I currently do, seeing as, seeing as I've kind of left some bits to die. One thing I'm learning with being a plant parent is not to beat myself up about things. If a plant doesn't do so well, I will read up on what I need to do and I will retrace my steps and try and correct it. I've bought a lot of plants in a short space of time, so the learning curve is going to be pretty steep and needs to be pretty quick unless they're all going to die. But so far so good. We're coming up to a year since I got Lilibet, so I think I'm on the right track. So this also came in that M&S bundle. Boys and girls, this is the third plant that came in the M&S bundle. It's a Boston Fern. This plant has been through it with me. I'm not sure if I named this plant Shade or not, or if I've just made that up on the spot. If I have made it up on the spot, your name is no Shade. This plant I initially thought loved a lot of sunlight. So again, I put it right on the windowsill and then the leaves started to crisp. They just started to fry up and I got her in the summer as well, so too much sunlight. And then also because she loves moisture, she lives in a bathroom, but I kind of took that for granted and then wasn't watering her enough. So the leaves started to droop, in addition to the fact that I had given it way too much exposure to sunlight. But I've corrected that. I've moved her to a different position in a bathroom, so she's still getting the moisture from, you know, the heat from the shower and stuff. I water her a lot more often than I used to. You can see most of the leaves are pointing upwards and springing out and not just drooping. So that's a good sign, and that is how I have course corrected with this plant. Shade Gill. Those are all the plants I bought in 2022. And then December came around and I got my second Monstera plant, gifted to me by my friends Jamie and his lovely wife Tulu. And there's my plant over here. This plant is aptly named Tulu after the person who gifted it to me. I mean, it was the couple, but she's giving Tulu, don't you think? Don't you think? Isn't she a Tulu to you? Well, she's a Tulu to me. Look at this massive shoot. It's not a shoot, it's a... See, I don't even really know the plant bits. I'm really sorry. But look how long this is. And as you can see, it's split a lot more than my other plant. There's a split there, on a few more of the leaves. That's got a few splits there. This is a lovely heart shape. Yeah, gorgeous. This plant came from Habitat and it came also with the pot, and I think she's really gorgeous. I keep my Monsteras in the office with me. I've put them close together and I feel like that's making them grow faster. I don't know if it's like, yeah, Monstera, that's my clique. I'm gonna sit down with my baby girl and we're gonna gist and grow together and thrive together. I don't know. But since I put these two plants next to each other, I've noticed a big jump in both their growths. So I don't know if that's a thing or if it's just my baby girls. So Tolu and Temisan are best of friends. 2023 came along and I wasn't even looking for a plant at this stage. I went into B&Q because I needed to buy some home stuff. I think I needed some bolts or nuts or something. And as soon as I walked in, there was the garden center and to my left was a massive array of plants. And this baby girl caught my eye. This is beauty personified or plantified. I don't own a more gorgeous plant. I'm sorry, don't get upset, but she's gorgeous. This is my Calathea Medallion. It's also known as a prayer plant. This baby girl is also a bit dramatic. Not as dramatic as our good sis on the right here. So the thing with the Calathea Medallion is that when it's dark, the leaves kind of close together a bit, and then when it's light, she opens them up again. So people call them prayer plants because of the opening and the shutting of the hands, aka the leaves. I think she's so stunning. I love like the purple underside and the patterned leaves. I just look at her and I'm in awe of God's handiwork. I'm in awe of God's artistry and I'm gushing over a plant, yes. Yeah, so I just had to have her. Like, as soon as I walked into the store, I picked her up, held her in my arms, and I walked out without buying nuts or bolts or anything else I went to B&Q for. This is also my most expensive plant, and really in the grand scheme of things, she's not that expensive. This plant cost me £25, so that should be a good idea of how cheap plants can be. She does like the warmth. She is a hot girl plant. My first night I left her in this room where I'm filming right now, and this room does not get a lot of action. It's cold, I had the blinds drawn so there was no sunlight, and I came back and she was basically on the floor like our good sis on the right, and I was like, no! I failed you. Now she lives in our living room because we have underfloor heating there and it's on 24/7. So she gets the heat from the floor, and also it's a very well lit room. We've got a skyline and loads of windows, which I open all the time. So she's getting ample sunlight and heat. And yeah, this is my good sis. Oh, I haven't even told you her name. Excuse me, Esmeralda. Sometimes when I pick up plants, a name just jumps out at me and I'm like, yes, you shall be called Tony. You shall be called Esmeralda. So yeah, Esmeralda jumped out to me and that's her name. This is my first plant of 2023. This is one of my latest additions, and I mean latest because I bought this plant today. This plant cost me £10, including the pot, from B&M. It is a Leopard Lily. I haven't yet decided the gender, if it's a he or a she. I generally call all my plants she, except we have a manual on the floor, which is a he. I was in B&M. I went in there looking for a white bird of paradise because I knew that they stocked some. I couldn't find one I liked. They had quite a few, but nothing really jumped out at me and screamed take me home. So I went over and I saw the Leopard Lilies and I was like, this is on my wish list. There can be a whole shelf of maybe 20 of the exact same plant, and I'll go and inspect each and every one of them, and I will pick one that speaks to me, which is weird because I mean they're exactly the same plant, but some of them just look a bit more appealing, some of them catch my eye, other ones just, you know, put me off. They're exactly the same plant. But yeah, this is my Leopard Lily. I don't have a name for him, her yet. I think I'm gonna keep this one in my kitchen. I'm not entirely sure exactly how they are meant to be looked after, so I'm gonna check that she likes sunlight before I put her on a windowsill like I've done with the other one. But yeah, really cute small plant. This cost me £10 from B&M, including the pot, so I think that was a bargain. Now, the final plant that I have bought so far is an Areca plant. It's this baby girl over here. This is Ruby. Ruby, 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 Ruby. Ruby. Ruby I bought today, this evening at about 5:30. She comes in this glorious and dramatic red pot, which is probably where I got the name Ruby from. I bought them together from a plant nursery. I don't know much about Ruby's personality because I've had her for a few hours now, but I had an Areca palm on my wish list and I saw this one. Again, I'd seen a few of them in the nursery, but this one was in the pot and I was like, do you like that pot? Do you like that plant? So I took the plant out of the pot and I went and picked another Areca plant and put it in the pot, and it just wasn't really giving. So I was like, no, this is the one for me. So I marched to the till with this baby in my arms, choo, 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 and I paid for it. So this is our baby, the newest arrival in my house, an Areca palm called Ruby. Oh. I've introduced you to all my kids in order of their ages. That is it. I do want to share with you my plant wish list. There's a few plants that are very basic and I'm really looking forward to having them. Number one at the top of my list is a white bird of paradise, and not any old one. I want a big one. I want a big, like 70cm white bird of paradise, which I'll put in my living room in a really big pot like this one that Ruby's in, and she's just gonna tower over everything and make the room look so tropical and gorgeous. One of my best friends has a white bird of paradise. She was the one that actually even told me about it, and she sent me a picture of her one, and I was like, oh, I've got to get one for myself. Actually, I might get one tomorrow. We'll see. The next plant that I want to get, and this is in no specific order, I'm just thinking of the plants in my head. I would love to have a yucca plant. Yucca plants look ugly, okay? I know. But there's something about it that still makes it very desirable for me. I really want a yucca plant in my living room. I think it would look really cool. Yeah, I don't know what's attracting me to it, but if you Google it, they're not the most beautiful or leafy of plants, but there's something about it that makes it look cool, and I think I would like to have one. Another plant that I want to have is a rubber plant. I want a nice big rubber plant. I've seen smaller pots of rubber plants, but they haven't really been what I'm going for. I want a big one like Esmeralda over here, or maybe even a bit bigger. I don't know where I would put the rubber plant, maybe in the hallway. I'll see what its requirements are, but I want a rubber plant. I also want... Ooh, I'd like to have a Chinese evergreen. I have a lot of green plants with the exception of Toy over here and Esmeralda, and I think I would love to have a pink Chinese evergreen plant that just gives a bit of colour to my collection. So yes, I'd like to have one of those. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all I want for Christmas. I don't think I'm going to buy any more plants after that this year. I just want to see how I get on. My main priority is that white bird of paradise. I don't know why I'm so obsessed, but I think once I get that, I'll be able to calm down a little bit. Anyway, that's it. Welcome to the family. If you are a plant collector, please let's get discussing. Give me tips in the comments, slide in my DMs on social media. I want all your unsolicited advice. I am a single plant mom. My husband does not care for any of these children, but I'm sure he'll come around. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like the video, and watch another one, will ya? Bye!